Don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
Minnesota, often seen as a quiet, stable state, faced an unprecedented federal crackdown that revealed deep infiltration by transnational criminal networks. What seemed like routine immigration and law enforcement issues quickly escalated into a complex national security threat. Operation Midway Blitz exposed illegal networks moving drugs, money, and people through Somali migration channels, coordinated with dangerous cartels and protected by corrupted officials. This story illustrates the fragility of systems when trust is weaponized, highlighting the need for vigilance, accountability, and decisive action. What unfolded in Minnesota became a case study in modern infiltration and the power of unified federal response. Hidden threats in plain sight. Beneath the calm and orderly streets of Minnesota, a much darker reality quietly existed, concealed from everyday view. Investigators discovered a shadow network embedded within local communities, exploiting the trust and goodwill of residents while operating illegally. Immigrants tied to organized crime were not merely surviving, they were thriving, leveraging welfare systems and community structures to facilitate illicit activities. Surveillance and intelligence work revealed that these networks were sophisticated, interconnected, and highly strategic in concealing their actions. What appeared to be ordinary neighborhoods masked a web of coordinated criminal activity, demonstrating how easily trust can be manipulated. Federal agencies quickly realized that the challenge extended beyond simple law enforcement. It required careful mapping of networks, verification of financial flows, and understanding how social infrastructure could be weaponized. Launch of Operation Midway Blitz. Once federal authorities understood the scale and sophistication of the criminal networks, Operation Midway Blitz was carefully planned and launched. This large-scale initiative brought together ICE-DEA and FBI resources into a unified strategy designed to tackle both immediate criminal activity and the financial structures underpinning it. Neighborhoods were cordoned off, tactical units deployed, and high-value targets were apprehended in synchronized raids to maximize operational efficiency and minimize civilian risk. Within days, agents seized narcotics, weapons, cash, and forged documents, providing a stark picture of the network's reach and operational capabilities. Beyond physical enforcement, the operation emphasized intelligence gathering and strategic observation, ensuring that every layer of the criminal enterprise could be mapped and dismantled. Discovery of criminal cartel links. Investigators soon uncovered a deeply concerning connection between Somali migration channels and the notorious CJNG cartel, revealing Minnesota as more than just a target. It was a hub for illegal distribution and financial flows across the Midwest. The cartel had not simply smuggled narcotics. It had woven itself into local structures, exploiting legal loopholes, community trust, and public goodwill to facilitate trafficking. By embedding criminal activity into ordinary social and economic systems, the network demonstrated how organized crime can disguise itself under seemingly legitimate operations. Federal authorities recognized the national security implications immediately, understanding that such infiltration could destabilize not only local law enforcement, but public trust in the entire system. This discovery reshaped intelligence and enforcement strategies, forcing agencies to integrate cross-jurisdictional data, financial tracking, and community analysis to address a sophisticated threat. Minnesota's ordinary neighborhoods suddenly became critical points of observation, illustrating how strategic criminal networks can turn everyday settings into operational nodes for illicit activity, while remaining virtually invisible to casual observation. Ibrahim Warsam, a hidden architect. At the center of the operation was Ibrahim Warsam, a senior foreign official whose diplomatic status had previously made him appear untouchable. Publicly, he was seen as a trusted advocate, promoting humanitarian aid and integration, but classified communications and financial data revealed a far more sinister role. Warsam allegedly coordinated the flow of drugs, weapons, and funds while directing the network's activities with precision. His dual identity, as a respected public figure and clandestine orchestrator, highlighted the dangers posed when positions of authority are exploited for personal and criminal gain. Federal investigations uncovered encrypted communications, shell companies, and carefully layered financial transactions designed to evade scrutiny, demonstrating a level of strategic sophistication rarely encountered in domestic law enforcement. Warsom's involvement elevated the entire operation, transforming it from a local criminal investigation into a matter of national security. Sophisticated financial schemes. A crucial part of the criminal network's resilience lay in its financial engineering. By using shell companies, offshore accounts, and falsified documentation, the network laundered money across international channels, disguising illicit revenue as legitimate development projects, consultancy fees, or grants. Small, carefully timed transfers moved funds across multiple countries, preventing detection by regulatory systems while maintaining the appearance of legitimacy. Analysts highlighted that this was not opportunistic crime, but a meticulously designed financial system capable of sustaining long-term operations. Understanding these methods required collaboration across financial intelligence, law enforcement, and cyber units, combining forensic accounting with strategic analysis. These sophisticated schemes underscored the complexity of modern transnational criminal networks, which integrate financial expertise with social and logistical manipulation. Tactical raids and seizures. With intelligence in hand, federal tactical teams executed coordinated raids across multiple locations in Minnesota, including residences, warehouses, and operational hubs. These actions were executed with precision, balancing the need for swift action against the safety of civilians and non-involved residents. During these operations, agents seized significant quantities of narcotics, weapons, cash, and encrypted servers, each seizure revealing new dimensions of the network. High-value targets, including coordinators and operatives, were apprehended efficiently, ensuring minimal resistance and no civilian casualties. The raids also uncovered evidence of systemic protection, including altered court records and shielded communications, highlighting the depth of the infiltration. By combining intelligence-driven strategy with on-the-ground precision, the operations not only disrupted the criminal network, but also provided critical evidence for further prosecution. Exposing corruption within institutions. As raids progressed and evidence was examined, it became clear that the network had infiltrated local governance, with 19 Minnesota officials implicated in facilitating money laundering, obstructing investigations, and shielding criminal operations. Court records were manipulated, background checks erased, and warnings redirected to ensure protection for key operatives. This institutional corruption extended the network's reach far beyond traditional criminal activity, showing how systemic compromise can exploit positions of public trust. The discovery prompted immediate calls for institutional reform and oversight, highlighting the importance of accountability in maintaining community security. By exposing how criminals manipulate institutional structures to their advantage, the operation provided a stark reminder that enforcement cannot exist in isolation. Transparency, consistent oversight, and a vigilant citizenry are critical components in preventing long-term exploitation of public systems, emphasizing the interplay between law enforcement and systemic integrity. Impact on local communities. The raids created shockwaves across Minnesota, sparking debate and raising public anxiety. While some residents lauded decisive federal action as necessary for public safety, others criticized the operations as overreach that disrupted families and neighborhoods. Community organizations, churches, and advocacy groups quickly mobilized to respond, assisting affected families and attempting to reconcile safety with humanitarian considerations. The events forced residents to confront the contrast between perception and reality, realizing that trusted institutions had been manipulated in ways invisible to everyday life. These reactions underscored the importance of effective communication during complex operations, balancing law enforcement objectives with public understanding and support. The unfolding crisis highlighted both the fragility of perceived safety and the critical need for transparency, accountability, and community engagement to maintain confidence in systems intended to protect them. National security implications. The investigations revealed that the criminal network posed threats far beyond ordinary law enforcement concerns, compromising national security and the integrity of U.S. institutions. By exploiting migration, trust, and local networks, The operation demonstrated that domestic vulnerabilities can be weaponized by transnational actors. Federal agencies raised threat levels and expanded intelligence sharing, treating the case as a strategic matter rather than a routine investigation. Minnesota became a case study in how criminal enterprises can embed themselves into democratic systems, exploiting goodwill and legal protections for operational advantage. The implications highlighted the need for proactive strategies that go beyond traditional enforcement methods, recognizing that national security now includes financial, diplomatic, and community-level threats. This case emphasized that vigilance and unified federal coordination are essential in preventing transnational networks from compromising sovereignty and destabilizing trusted systems.